We'll have live sports team coverage of the game. Keep it here for highlights and reaction from disappointed players. Those stories and local fans get burned by fake tickets. It's all next at 6.
WTAE-TV, Pittsburgh. And now, this is WTAE 4 News.
Tonight, the agony of defeat. The San Diego Chargers have beaten our Steelers, ending an incredible season. Good evening, I'm Sheila Hyland. Up first tonight, what else? It's not fog hanging over Pittsburgh tonight, it's utter gloom. It's the Chargers, not the Steelers, heading to Super Bowl 29 in Miami. Our Mary Ravasio has been at the stadium since early this morning and joins us live with fan reaction. And Mary, I can only imagine what the mood is like over there.
I tell you, Sheila, I can't tell you how sad it is to be down here on this field after one of the most heartbreaking games of the Steelers season. As you mentioned, we have spent the entire day with fans, from the early morning tailgaters to the fans as they were leaving the game heading for that long ride home. And let me tell you, the emotions have really run from one extreme to the other. Before the game even started, tailgaters were preparing for a victory. This group of fans made their own steel trap helmets that crushed little Charger football players.
They were trophies, little gold trophies. I cut them off. They're real men. We painted them. They're in the trap. Oh, they're real men. They're real men. I'm sorry. They're real men, and they're in the trap.
It seemed no one here ever dreamed the Steelers would lose, especially the way they were seeking out tickets. The big difference between last week's game and this week's game is there's a heck of a lot more people looking for tickets this week, and those tickets just can't be found.
There's too many people around here looking to buy tickets, and they're asking too much money.
How much are they asking?
They're asking around $200 to $300 a piece.
Why on earth would you fly all the way from Los Angeles if you didn't have a ticket?
Had time off?
We had friends that told us it'd be no problem. No problem.
Now those fans were glad they didn't get the tickets, because the Chargers dashed all hopes of a Pittsburgh Super Bowl. And you could see the heartbreak in the parade of sad faces after the game.
Oh, it's very disappointing, but we got to be very proud of the team. They did a great job to bring us this far, but it's very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever dream when you walked in?
Never dreamed. In fact, I thought it would be a blowout.
Terrible, terrible. The Dow didn't do it.
We just felt that they gave it up in the third quarter. I mean, they just blew it. The Steelers blew the game.
Some real mixed emotions among the fans. There are some fans that are very bitter about how this turned out, but there are still some fans that are very proud of how the Steelers have performed all season. I think most of all right now, we're just feeling a state of shock. I myself still can't believe that this has happened. Reporting live from Three Rivers Stadium, I'm Mary Ravasio. Sheila?
Okay, Mary, I know exactly how you feel. Thanks for that report. Pittsburgh fans, of course, thought the Steelers would win today. So did the Las Vegas odds makers. One player even predicted San Diego wouldn't even score a point. Of course, things didn't happen that way. Alby Oxenreiter joins us live from the newsroom with a look at the game itself. Maybe we're a little overconfident, Alby.
Well, come up tomorrow. What are you going to do? No Super Bowl this year for the Steelers. Andre Hastings may have said it best after the game. He said it takes so much to get this far. You need hard work, talent, some luck, and some help, and then it's all taken away. The Steelers needed 3 yards to clinch a spot in the Super Bowl, but the season fizzles with an incomplete pass in the end zone. So you think about this one for a while, and then you move on, I guess. Neil O'Donnell to Eric Green in the final drive inside the 10, so it's 1st and goal from the 9. John L. Williams to the 3-yard line. But the Steelers needed 3 yards on 4th down. Last chance, Dennis Gibson knocks O'Donnell's pass away, and the Steelers fall 3 yards short of the Super Bowl. 17-13 was the final. Chargers win it.
We believe we're going to score. I mean, we had every intention of thinking that we were going to win the game on the last drive. I mean, from the time they took the lead, you know, the guys on the sideline strapped up, said, okay, I guess we got to go get 6. And that's what we had every intention of trying to do. We moved the ball well. We made some big plays. Eric had some great catches on that drive. And it just, I mean, it just didn't come through for us.
And it makes you appreciate those 4 Super Bowls in 6 years back in the 70s. It's so tough to get there. They will not be there this year. The Steelers will not. Up in sports, we'll have reaction from the Steelers locker room, where they were obviously stunned after the loss, and complete highlights of the game. Chargers are headed for the Super Bowl, and the Steelers headed home, Sheila.
Tough break, Al.
All right.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks. Tickets for today's Steeler game were definitely the hottest tickets in town, and there were some bad ones floating around. There were many people looking for tickets, but only a few people selling them at prices upwards of $300 a piece. Now, we found one woman who got scammed by a scalper. She bought phony tickets.
Bought the tickets, $100 a piece, go into the game, got in, and then they pulled me back and said, these are fake tickets. Said, how do you know? Oh, I don't know. Well, obviously they do know because they pulled me out of the game. I spent $200 for 2 tickets and didn't get in the game. Here I am.
The person who sold Kathy Prox those phony tickets never was caught, and she wasn't the only victim. Police do tell us, however, they did make other arrests for scalping today. Anticipating the best, backers of the black and gold got an early morning start. The game didn't start until 12:30, but stadium parking lots were full before 9 o'clock. Tailgaters were out in force, cooking, drinking, and partying hard. In spite of the large and vocal crowd, police report no serious problems. Today's crowd of more than 61,000 screaming, towel-waving fans was the largest ever to see a football game in the city of Pittsburgh. And all, of course, were very disappointed. Like their neighbors elsewhere, residents of Pittsburgh's South Side were hoping for a win today, but remembering the rowdy post-Stanley Cup celebration of 1992, they also feared a victory. Our Bob Mayo is standing by live along East Carson Street where the celebration would have been. Bob?
Sheila, while the businesses along Carson Street got the booming turnout that they were hoping for, it's not the trouble for the neighborhood that some people who live nearby were expecting, because for the most part the sound of Steeler parties has already faded away. The cheering and excitement had been building for the crowd in Mario's bar through the game. But in the final 2 minutes, the hair-pulling and the nail-biting began. You could see it in their eyes as hope slipped away. Then it was over. Steeler fans who were hoping to celebrate here on the South Side into the night are now folding up their terrible towels and heading home to talk about what might have been.
Hoping to have this in the Super Bowl season, and now it's just going to be probably folded up in a closet somewhere. But, you know, what can you do? The Steelers will get them a 96.
Personally, they had 5 guys coming at the quarterback. All he had to do was just run it up the middle, they would have scored.
So that's pretty much where you're going to spend the night now, is
now
the game.
Now they'll be thinking about it instead of playing in the Super Bowl. But that's what the game's all about.
Tonight, how are you going to spend your night now?
I would have spent the next 4 or 5 hours in there partying up watching the next game.
That's not what you're doing now?
Taking a nap.
Yeah.
Time for a nap.
And so there is not nearly the number of people here in Carson Street you would have expected had the Steelers won, but businesses are happy. They say they're doing a good business tonight in dinner crowd. So reporting live from the South Side, I'm Bob Mayo. Sheila?
Most people look happy anyway. Bob, what about all the extra police that the Southsiders had asked for?
Well, they didn't put on extra officers, but they did have contingency plans to keep an eye on the big night spots. Police say they didn't think that Pittsburghers would cause trouble after this game, and so they say that this won't cause the city any extra expense, and the officers will be doing the normal sort of things they do in the wake of any Steeler football game.
All right, Bob Mayo joining us live. Thanks. Well, not everyone was thinking football today. For the second straight week, members of the African American Coalition for Justice protested